Okay. Welcome back. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good.
Yeah. How have you been feeling over the course of our sessions? It's been about 6 months now.
A lot better. From the day I came into now. It's like a completely different situation that I'm in.
Okay, that's really good to hear. Um, I wanted to start by letting you know that this is going to be our last session, and I understand that this is because you've been feeling a lot better and you feel like you can kind of go day to day now without having to come back to therapy and kind of report on everything that you've been doing and feeling. So I do want to place emphasis on the fact that you can always come back. You are more than welcome to, get in contact with my office if you do need to see me. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of recap our sessions and just talk about everything that I recommended and everything that we've been through. And I wanted to start by saying, how has your anxiety been from day to day?
A lot better. I even when I feel anxiety, I really lean into the deep breathing that we went through. It that has helped me a lot in like the instance that I feel anxious, like once I'm already at work and there's nothing like physically I could do with my hands that would like make me calm down. And deep breathing really helps me like bring down my heart rate, and it helps me realize that I'm not actually running late, and that I'm doing everything that I can to be on time, and I'm doing good. And yeah, the deep breathing has been probably the most helpful thing that I've learned from these sessions because of that.
Okay, that's really good to hear. And how has it been? I know one session we talked about journaling and kind of getting all of your thoughts onto a page in case, you're not able to speak to me right away and you don't feel comfortable speaking with anybody else. How has that been?
Um, it's been great. My journaling has allowed me to kind of brain dump at the end of the night. Anything that I've been anxious about or upset about or stressed about, I just put it on a page at the end of the night, and it's easy. It makes it easier to go back and like think of those thoughts and how they made me feel, and like or in turn like how they should make me feel while I'm not very anxious in the moment. I could come back to those feelings later and be like, oh, well, maybe I was thinking a little irrational at this moment and I shouldn't have been thinking that way. So it helps me reflect on different situations. It's something I'm going to continue.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good to hear. And how has the planner and I don't know if you went with the planner or the whiteboard calendar, how has that been going for you?
I chose the whiteboard calendar and it's worked really well. It helps me stay really organized, and it's something I find pleasing, like just to change every month. I do all my events and anything I have going on, it all has a specific color, so I know what time I have to be there and what it is that I have to attend for. Um, so that's been really beneficial too. It's also something I'm going to keep up. I would say it's not something that really helped as much with my anxiety. It just kind of helps me keep my head like on the right path.
Okay, that's still good to know
Yes.
that you are able to have that there for you to see. Okay. And I also wanted to ask about one recommendation that I had given you a few sessions ago, integrating reading back into your daily life. Have you been doing that or how has that been going?
I've tried. I started reading a book. I got like 3 chapters in. I would like sit down and read a chapter. I did it for like 3 days, and then I started to realize as I sat down, like there was just other things that I could do. Reading wasn't something that was keeping my interest, so I
Okay.
just kind of steered away from reading at all.
Okay, that's completely fine. And I wanted to ask about um, your eating habits now. Are they any different than they were?
They are a lot different. I'm eating 3 meals a day, so um implementing like having a full breakfast and then taking my hour lunch and actually eating it lunch and then coming home and eating dinner before I fall asleep. It's something that's changed a lot of aspects of my life. Like I just genuinely feel healthier and better. Um I meal prep, so like the night most of the time I meal prep dinner for like the entire week, but breakfast and lunch are the night before, and I'll just have it all together so that way I don't have to worry about it when I wake up in the morning and I'm trying to get ready for work. It's like that was something that was added to my schedule that I would have to do. So I think that had a lot to do with why I was skipping those meals, because it was more of like I don't have time to eat because I need to do everything else. But now I implement like specific times where I need to eat at like for this hour and I can't do anything else like that. In my mind, that's how it plays and it works for me. So
That's really good to hear.
yeah, I plan on continuing to plan out my dinners and stuff at least until I feel comfortable enough that I don't need to plan it a week ahead. I can plan it that day and cook it that day and still have time to do all my work. I'm almost there. I'm just, a few more weeks of just prepping and planning.
Right.
Hopefully will get me there.
And were you able to have your mom help you, or is it now something only you're doing?
She was helping me in the beginning, but now it's something that I do. I've been doing it for long enough. I think that that's also why, like, there's that step of like wanting to just plan dinner for the day. I know it's coming because I was able to not depend on my mom anymore to plan these meals or make these meals and come up with them.
Right. Okay, that's good. And how has your relationship been with your mom?
A lot better. She's
Yeah.
very happy for me, not with me, but for me, because she knew how much I was struggling to feel, I guess. Anything but anxious. So yeah, she's happy that that.
Okay, that's really good to
Yeah.
hear. So I wanted to just kind of touch on a few things that we had spoken about in our first few sessions. So we were talking about your sleep schedule and how you would kind of sleep pretty early and you would wake up at least 1 to 2 hours before your alarm, in which your alarm was already set 1 to 2 hours before you needed to be there. So how has that been?
A lot better. I think with eating dinner, at a specific time, it helps me get to bed not too early, but also like not too late. I go to bed at a decent time. I wake up at a normal time now. I mean, what I consider normal to get to work. Yeah, and I still have enough. I mean, I wake up like an hour later than I used to, and I still have enough time to eat breakfast and get ready and get to work.
Okay, that's great. And are you still getting to work at least 40 minutes before your shift? Or what's that like?
No, I've stopped showing up that early. I still show up early just because I feel like that's just kind of who I am as a person. But
that's fine.
I'm only getting there like 20 or 15 minutes early. Just enough time to like get myself set up for the day, and then I clock it and I can start my work.
Okay, that's really good to hear all the progress that you've made since our first session. I wanted to ask you, what were some highlights of therapy as a whole to you? Any of the treatment recommendations I gave, or just anything that we've spoken about?
I think I have like two main points that I really, really liked during our sessions. Which I've mentioned before, I'm going to continue journaling. That was like one of the biggest changes in my everyday life that really helped me realize how out of irrational I was feeling during these times of anxiety that I was having. So it helps me realize that there's sometimes the reaction I give is not oriented for the situation I'm in. And sometimes I don't realize that. But writing all those thoughts down, it helped me realize that after the fact. And then so the next time that situation occurred to me, I already knew how to handle it because I had already came back to it before. And I think that was really helpful to me. And then the journaling as well the deep breathing helped me a lot too. It helped give my body relief when I was out of my normal schedule. So like if there was a day where I could only get to work 5 minutes early, it helped me like calm myself down because I needed to realize that I was still 5 minutes early. I'm still not going to be late. It's okay. And like the world's not gonna end. So
Right.
those two things were my main takeaways. I think that the relationship that we have started also really helped my process through um, therapy, because it was really easy to talk to you about all my issues, even some issues that I didn't know existed, like they would be brought out in therapy.
Mhm.
And I think that was very beneficial because there were things bothering me that I didn't even know was bothering me, and it kind of got brought to light, and I was able to um, understand those situations and fix them head on.
Okay, that's really great. Before I get into my next few questions, I did want to backtrack a little bit and ask you about something that we had spoken about in our first session. You had told me your obsession with clocks and time and needing to cover the clock so that you weren't feeling so anxious when you looked at them and just overly obsessed with time. So I just wanted to ask how that's been since.
It's going better. My clocks aren't covered. I wouldn't say I necessarily look at any of them. Um, because time does make me very anxious. So I'll start feeling those anxieties when I start looking at the clock. So I just kind of avoid it. But I also don't think it's something I'm going to avoid forever. Now that I have the tools to overcome like the anxieties that I'm feeling, I'll start working my way through. Yeah, I just like that all of the treatment recommendations that were given where I was able to use outside of here and kind of learn how to do them on my own. So now that like us not meeting anymore won't affect my process because I'm able to do it by myself.
Okay, that's really good to hear. And that's totally okay that, you're not gonna be able to avoid clocks forever, of course. Like you are going to need to
Yeah. Yes,
to
and
look
I
at the
am aware
time.
of that. That's why
Right.
I won't stop working on it. I just like I don't think that I need to continue the therapy status to
Mhm.
work on it.
No, that's still
Like,
great progress. You're
yeah.
not covering them
Mhm.
anymore.
Mhm.
That's really great to hear. And I did want to ask about, um, we had talked about you feeling a little bit of depression, it sounded like in the very first session. And I just wanted to cover that and see how you've been feeling, if you're still having those same kinds of feelings and you're still isolating yourself from your coworkers and your one childhood friend.
Um, I don't really think that I'm isolating anymore. I think a lot of like the isolation and like that, all of that that occurred, a lot of it had to do with the anxiety that I was feeling. Like I was feeling so anxious that I just like didn't want. So I didn't want anyone to see me that way, so I would just like isolate myself. But now that like my anxieties are um lower and I know how to handle them if they get any higher, I'm more confident to hang out with different people. So I've been talking to a lot more coworkers. I've made a lot more friends.
Okay, that's great to hear.
Yes.
Um, okay. I wanted to ask about your opinion on counseling as a whole. Like, how has the experience of counseling been for you over the past 6 months?
I loved it. I 6 months ago, I never thought that I would overcome the time management that I had. Like, I guess I had really, really good time management. Not really. I call it sloppy time management. Um, and all these anxieties that came along with that. I just never thought that there would be an outcome where I could live life and show up to work 5 minutes early and still be okay to proceed with my day. Like that was never something that happened before, so it was unusual to me. It was an unusual thought to have. But going through this process, I know that if anything were to happen and I like forgot my deep breathing or I stop my journaling or I find myself isolating again, I could definitely see myself coming back. I think that these sessions have taught me that like therapy is okay to come to and it's actually really beneficial and really fun. So I think I enjoyed this process so much that it has opened my eyes to being able to ask for help if I need it.
That's good to know. So you did say that you know that you can return. So if you were feeling very anxious again, if there was a period in your life where you weren't feeling as steady with your treatment recommendation, with your deep breathing and your journaling, would you consider coming back?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to come back to you as a therapist. But I'm hoping that with the tools I have that it won't need to happen.
Mhm.
But I do know that I can if I need to, and you're here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask a few more questions before we finish our session today. So originally something that we had talked about and that seemed like kind of a stressor to you was your younger sister. Um, you said that you had felt a lot of anxiety to just kind of be someone that she could look up to, and you had a lot of pressure on yourself because of that. How have you been feeling with those pressures? Has that been alleviated a little bit, or do you still kind of subconsciously feel that, but it's not as weighing on you as it had been?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I feel better, but not 100% yet. Still feeling these anxieties. It still makes me feel like I'm not someone that she should look up to, because I have to work every day to
Mhm.
overcome what I'm feeling. But then again, it's like, um, I just feel like sometimes she doesn't even see it of me. Like she doesn't understand that I'm feeling the way I am. So I think that it would be easy for her to look past it. It's just like I'm stuck in my own head with it. But our relationship is really good. We she comes over sometimes, or she'll be over when I come home from work, and we'll hang out while I cook dinner, and she'll eat dinner with me. So, and then she'll go home and go to bed. So we have a working relationship. I don't think I'm where I want to be yet with her.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, and that's okay too. I think it's really great that you are doing all of this work and you're thinking about her in the process of it. And I think it's totally fine that, she is able to look past, or she just doesn't know that, because I understand that it is pretty difficult for your loved ones to see you in a state that you're not the most proud of. So it's totally okay that you don't feel like where you're at is where you should be. But I think the progress that you've made to get to where you are now is incredible, and you're able to use those deep breathings to calm yourself down and all of the other treatment recommendations that we've talked about. Uh, so that is really great. You should be very proud of yourself for that.
Thank you.
And you shouldn't be too hard on yourself in regards to your sister, because, she's going to love you either way.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be, the most perfect version of yourself to feel like she can look up to you.
Yeah.
You are still worthy of that.
Yes, I just have to get that through my own head. Like, I definitely understand that, and I know even if she knew that I struggled with anxiety, it was not like she would follow in my footsteps and just only pick up my anxiety.
Mm.
But I'm still just uncomfortable with people seeing me that vulnerable, I guess. Like, I just get into a state where I'm like terrified, so I don't want other people to know that I'm terrified about the situation, because they could possibly make it worse. So it's just like keeping all of that to myself is easier for me. I know she knows I feel anxiety because I talk to my mom a lot, and my mom talks to her, but I just don't think she understands how bad it is, and I'm glad for that.
Right.
But yeah, just understanding that she's my sister and she's gonna love me either way. I do know that. I just and I know I don't have to be a perfect person, but I just want to be as best as I can so that she has someone to be like, oh, I want to be like my big sister one day.
Right. I do want to mention that I understand that it is a very rough feeling to feel vulnerable in front of other people, but at the same time, you should give yourself some grace, because your coworkers around you may also be going through stuff that they don't want you to see either.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be so hard on yourself to make sure that other people can't see it, because a lot of the time people are going through their own things too, so they're not going to judge you for it. And, if they see a pattern that they recognize, they're not going to go out of their way to make you feel worse or just
Yeah.
make you feel a little bit more anxious. They may back off a little bit, or they may just ask if you want some water, if you just need to talk to
Yeah.
anybody. So it's totally okay to let your guard down. I understand it is a very difficult thing, and that's something that you can work on if you choose to,
Yeah.
but it is okay to let your guard down in front of the people that you trust. And I
Yeah.
don't want you to feel like you need to be guarded all the time in front of everybody.
Yeah. I think that it comes with my sister a lot, like specifically my sister, just because I'm trying to get to that, like, oh, I look up to you stage, and like that holds, like, seeing me vulnerable like that, or like seeing me and asking me, like, oh, do you need a glass of water? Like, you should sit down, or seeing me in that pattern. I feel like it would be more of her taking care of me than me taking care of her. So that's
Right.
but as far as my coworkers, I think that like that vulnerability, I don't really talk about it at work, but like if I'm feeling a certain way, I feel like a lot of my coworkers can tell on me, like just by looking at me, like, oh, she's off today. But no one's ever said anything. So I think that helps me because I know that they can tell, but they never say anything. So it makes me feel included, not picked out of the group, or
Right.
not secluded from everyone. So yeah, I think that really helps. The deep breathing also helps because when I'm in a situation where I am feeling terrified, I'm deep breathing to kind of ground myself and make me realize that like this isn't the end of the world again.
Yeah, that's good. So I know that I've already kind of recapped all of our treatment recommendations. Sorry. It's okay.
Yes.
I know that I've already recapped our treatment recommendations, but I kind of just wanted to hear from you, like what you think worked the best and what didn't really work, because I asked you kind of more isolated questions,
Yeah.
but as a whole, how do you feel like what I gave you worked or it didn't work?
So I think the deep breathing worked the best. I think that because I was able to use it right there on the spot, like whenever I needed it, and learning it like straight from you and doing it in the session, it really helped understand what the point of it was. And it wasn't like I was just sitting there breathing for no reason, really.
Mhm.
Like with deep breathing, I knew had a reason to it. So that really helped. The journaling and the calendar, those two did really help too. They're just more things that come like weekly or at night or monthly, or it was just like not an everyday, or like if I'm feeling anxious, I could just journal and it would go away. Like that's just not really how it worked. So, but they did work. They did help me. Like I said, the journaling helped me come back to the issue, and the calendar helped me help my mind stay afloat. As far as the reading though, I would say that was probably my least favorite, and it didn't work as well, just because it was my interests. Like I just fell out of, maybe it was the book I was reading, I don't know, but I just didn't feel connected to that type. I felt like it was making my anxiety worse, honestly, because I would sit there and read and be like, oh, I have 50 million other things to do, and then I would feel anxious. But I would do things like clean my house, or things that were actually beneficial to my day, instead of just sitting down and reading, which I know is beneficial for your mind, but I just wanted to keep on track. So,
and that's okay. I just wanted to start integrating your hobbies back into your life, because I think you just needed to be reminded that there is more that you can do.
yeah,
There is like, you don't need to spend the entire free time that you have at home, either before or after work, just kind of thinking about the next day and what you need to get done. I wanted to make sure that you know that you still have time to enjoy things that you love. So if it's not reading, that's fine. That was just an example from our first session where you said that you used to enjoy it and then you didn't do anymore. So whatever hobbies you may have that may come about now, I think it would just be good to try to get that into your day. And it doesn't even have to be every day. Like we don't need to make sure that you do it every single day, because then of course if you're not reaching that goal, then you might feel anxious again, and we want to avoid that. The whole point of integrating a hobby is so that you're feeling a little bit more calm. So whatever it is, you can do it whenever, however long you want. whether it's one day a week or every single day. So yeah, I'm glad that you were honest about the reading, and that's totally okay that it did not work for you. It was just trial and error.
I think my sister coming over and hanging out with me kind of replaced that hobby, honestly.
That's good.
Because she would come over while I was cooking dinner or cleaning my house or whatever I was doing. And I would still get to do something that I used to love, hanging out with my sister while still completing the things that were making me anxious. Which is something I'm going to continue working on. I hope that I hope that there is a day where I don't feel like I need to complete tomorrow's tasks that night. So that's something I definitely still work on, but I still just don't. I think that ending the session, like terminating the sessions, is still okay, and I'd still be able to work on these things and overcome all of these things.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good. I mean, speaking of getting your tasks done ahead of time, I know that you used to spend all of your free time kind of working on the stuff that you need to complete for the next day or the next few days. How have you been with that and these new calming techniques that you've integrated into your life?
I've been doing better. I don't like, I used to come home and I would just like straight away, like I wouldn't really eat dinner, so all I had before bed was to get ready for the next day. Now that I'm eating dinner and sitting down, and I'm able to like, okay, well, here I plan a list of all the things that I need to do the following day. And there's some things that are just like, it's illogical to get this much done. So like maybe if I just do one thing on that list before bed that night, it makes me feel a little bit better. So I think seeing it in a list view is a lot easier for me. It's something that benefited me just to get things done off the to-do list. And even seeing that, it would allow me to see that I don't have as much as I thought I did to do tomorrow. So even some nights there's some nights I can look at it and be like, well, I can do all 5 of those in like 3 hours tomorrow and still have enough time to do whatever after, like during work. Like I could do extra work that my boss gives me during work because there's not that much to do. So I think it was more of just I was feeling overwhelmed. So I was looking at tomorrow's tasks as like an addition to like today's tasks, but today's tasks were already done, if that makes sense. So I've been doing a lot better with that.
That's great. I'm really glad that you've integrated a to-do list on your own because, you know, as I've mentioned with the journaling, it's better to get everything that's in your head out onto the paper, and then you're able to see it rather than kind of think about it and internalize it, and that causes you to worry a lot more. So I'm really glad that you've been doing that because, like you said, it does help you see, oh, you don't even have that much to do. It's just kind of the pressure of all of it and it being in your head makes it feel a lot bigger than it actually is. So that's really great. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, I'll definitely come back if I need it. But I feel I'm doing really good on my own. Like I'm able, like you said, you were surprised that I was able to come up with the not surprised that I was able to come up with it, but happy that I was able to come up with it on my own. And I think that I'll be able to integrate more things like that as they come, because like journaling led me to the to-do list because I was like, oh, I'll just use this page and I'll write out like I have to do this, this, and this tomorrow. So I'm hoping that the more things I can delve into, maybe a little bit more research that I can do over treatments for anxiety, I'll be able to really overcome and just like put all of the anxieties in the past for me.
Okay, that's really great. I want to thank you for your willingness to really engage with the treatments that I've been recommending and the fact that you've consistently showed up and you've been willing to talk to me about everything that's on your mind. I understand it is a really hard thing to bare your soul to someone else that you don't really know very well, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you and again, let you know that I am here if you do need me in the future. You can always reach out to my office and get in touch with me that way. But until then, I wish you luck. I think it will be great on your own.
Thank you so much. I look forward to being on my own.
Thank you.